Okay, so we have 1 minute. We will wait for the people. In 1 minute, we make the presentations and everything. Laura, we are online.
Wow,
Yay!
1 minute to go. Yeah, we're live. No questions this time.
This time was perfect. Pitch perfect.
Really
So,
good.
Laura, I'm going to start with the message. You already know what is going to happen. Everyone knows. My name is Ornella Gigante. I'm the CEO and founder of MindyCore, and it's the company made with love. And with me is the amazing, the incredible, my bestie, Laura. So happy to have you here again. For the ones that don't know what this is about, actually we have an amazing coffee chat a couple of nights ago, and some people just have more answers. We didn't have the time. So this is like, like the recapitulation, the continuation of the last coffee chat. And it's not only going to be about that, we're going to talk a little more about Mindy Kids, because actually we have been having lots of questions regarding that. A lot of parents that are actually very interested in this. It's amazing, actually. So, yeah. Laura, you want to present yourself again for the ones that haven't been?
Yeah, for those who don't know me, I'm the marketing director of a nature-based kindergarten that's going to open here in Switzerland. I live in Switzerland in the middle of the Alps.
Awesome.
And also, we're working a lot intensively lately with Ornella to create connection in between parents and educators and kids, and to ensure the child well-being in this digital era. That's, as we said a couple of nights ago, we talked a lot about stigma in young players, in young gamers.
Yes.
And we have a lot more to talk about.
Actually, Laura, I think that maybe we can make a little summary of the last coffee chat, because there will be people that will not watch it. So just a brief one.
So the most important thing and the goal, obviously, is guarantee the child well-being. But what we want to do, and because you are listening there, we want to help parents and educators and adults, whoever, to move from the anxiety we have when a kid is in front of the screen and we start thinking about numbers, is this his age, how many minutes he's been in front of the screen and everything. We're going to move from this to a calm approach, a connected approach that's going to ensure even child dignity, because so many times, as we talked last time, we're talking about stigma. We were talking about how kids are ashamed because of the content they like, because of the games they like, and how sometimes we said that we make a hierarchy of hobbies or of activities. We compare one kid with another, and children suffer. They suffer a lot, and this creates shame, this creates secrecy, disconnection. Kids are going to be much less secure. And the fact that we're stressing because the kid is in front of the screen and we think there are some dangers and there can be some problems, we're just putting the thing like so to this level, because if we create an environment where trust is not built, then they are not going to talk to you about whatever happens. So you have to build this connection and enjoy it.
Because gaming is fun, right? It's like, this is something actually that you said in the last coffee chat, and I love it because it's true. To do gaming, gamification is something that should connect people. When you're talking about the connection, this balance, right, between enjoying an activity that is gamification and support your children through the process, because actually by games you can have so many soft skills, right? It's like, it's not only they're being isolated and playing in the living room or in the rooms. They're playing with other people most of the cases. They are creating social bonds. And the first social bond in the gaming process must be with the parents. So
it must be with the parents. Well, obviously we were talking last time, we were talking about young gamers. This is the moment where normally we control a little bit the contact. If they can have contact with the community on the game, they normally do not have contact with the community on the game. Where from the moment they are teenagers, it starts being a social activity where they are going to do that online with their friends, etc. But it's true, like games matter, and kids love to game because it's fun. This is the first thing. It brings them joy. But why it brings them joy and why it matters so much? It develops so many basic needs they have. They need to develop autonomy, and they feel that this is fulfilled on games. They have this competence. They learn new skills all the time. And as we sometimes, we repeat ourselves so much, but I'm always amazed about the amount of decisions you have to make in a video game.
Please, just say the kind of skills that a kid can learn from that.
So but it's this, like, so many times we talk about, I would like the kid to be more autonomous. I would like, it helps also with many kids that have spatial problems, like they don't know how to recognize space. And for them, if they play some video games, it's going to be easier for them, and they are going to do that in a joyful way. Again, this competence, this connection, mainly with teenagers. And for me, I understand so much when we were talking about this anxiety. And I want to talk a little bit more about this advice that I have and that many other people have, and that so many parents are afraid of. I give the advice of grab a controller.
Okay.
And just, again, lower the anxiety. Grab a controller does not mean that you're going to master the thing. And it does not mean at all that you're going to master the thing as your kid is going to do. You're going to be amazed about what your kid is going to do if you navigate. Like, you're going to just if you played with a Game Boy growing up, like, now you're going to be overwhelmed. Like, if you have a controller, if you have a PC, there's so many things you have to do, and you're going to be looking at the controller or at the keyboard. You don't know what to do, and you see your kid is doing that so fast. So the grab a controller thing is not only for parents that are gamers and that can play, I don't know, and be competent and skillful while playing with the kids. It's also for parents that are not. And you can sit with your kid and just tell him, like, can you help me? Can you teach me? What did you just do? How did you do that? And just celebrate. This is something that also I say so many times. It's like a mantra. You celebrate their victories as if they are your own.
I love that. That's so positive.
That's such a positive connection. And then they are going to feel, okay, we're on the same boat. This is joyful. We go together. And even if sometimes they may receive messages from outside of people that are shaming or whatever, this joy is going to come from the heart. It's going to come from the fact I'm connecting with another that's here with me, and we're building something together. And this is very difficult to destroy.
Yeah, this is bonding. This is actually bonding. It's very important for the kids.
So, and you don't have to understand games. You just have to be there and ask
and enjoy the joy of your children, right?
Yeah, or just watch it. Yeah, it's really.
So we're talking about stop thinking about the kid for being obsessed, addicted, or lazy. Stop with the stigma and all these thoughts that maybe a lot of parents that are actually scared of losing control, right, with the gaming. Stop that and transform that in positivity and connection and support, right, to do this whole transition.
For me, as a parent, again, with young gamers, teenagers may be a more complicated issue. But if we're talking about young gamers, you guide and you decide. And your job is it's your job to provide the basic needs of your kid and much more. So first of all, your kid has to sleep. So many hours he's going to be sleeping. Your kid has to learn, so he has to go to school or be homeschooled, whatever you're doing. Your kid has to have healthy food, maybe share that with you. Your kid has to move, maybe connect a little bit with some friends, some nature and everything. Like, your kid has to have a balanced life. If you protect balance and if you provide these basic needs, it is virtually impossible that digital play goes out of
control, right?
Yeah, It's just not possible. It's you controlling. And even sometimes you may decide, because it's true, okay, my kid needs some time for free play. And you're going to decide, okay, this is the time that's reserved for this. And so many times it's not going to be time for digital play. So many days. It's like, I don't know, you have a pediatrician and you have to go visit I don't know who. So many days. And what we actually, the thing, I always say is, and again, it's not a digital problem, it's not a gaming problem. We are not so afraid about what the screens do. We are afraid about emotions. The emotions of our kids.
Yeah.
And that's how we connect. But we are so afraid about that. And if you are there when they're frustrated, if you are there when a kid, I don't know, says whatever, he may say, I'm bored because I would like to play video games. This is not a problem. This does not mean your kid is obsessed. The kid is just expressing boredom. So just, you are there, you connect, we talk. As you said, you pointed something very interesting last time, and maybe we could talk about that, about the idea that so many parents use screens or they use video games as an emotional regulator.
Yeah, most of the time. And I said before in the last coffee chat, I live that myself. And it's like they use that as an emotion regulator, and then they say, why the kids are so much with games? You gave the game a shop that is not the game's shop. That is your shop, right? So
exactly. This is one moment for me. So many things, like we have to do so many things in life, and digital play may be one of them if you choose to have a gaming system home. But if you do, and if your kid comes back home pissed, or he's angry, or he's sad, or whatever, this is not the good moment to switch it on.
Yeah.
You have to connect, because now he has some other need. And you have to fulfill this connection. You have to be there and show that you can be regulated through their emotions, and let them express them, let them understand. And I don't know, like so many cases, all the cases are different. He's going to have an emotion. He's going to need something different, or maybe sometimes just a little bit of contact with you, or just to feel that you are there while he's just very angry. So you're there. It's not a problem. And maybe you talk, and then you build some connection.
Having presence.
Afterwards, maybe, I don't know, we have a snack, and then, okay, let's change our mind, and we can play, or he can play, or whatever. Then is the moment. But you don't use that. It's not a psychologist. It's not a babysitter. It's an activity. It's a hobby. It's something for fun. So these are not the moments to shut up your kid. This is not something that creates a healthy relationship with the gaming.
Don't use the gaming as an excuse, right?
Exactly. And sometimes, like, I understand, like, so many parents are so tired because they work and this and that and so many things. And then, it's easier to park them. And then they are angry. They feel guilty. So many things that we have to do.
It's tsunami of emotions. Yeah, it's like, we understand, we're empathetic. It's like life, right? But what you say is totally true. It's like, don't use gamification and don't use your kids' games as an excuse to avoid your emotional chores, because this is an emotional chore. And it doesn't have to be a bad chore. It's mandatory because it's your kid. But don't give this kind of emotional power to a thing that is not a living thing. It's not an alive thing. So the kid, situations like this, I'm talking from my experience, it's like you make bonding with the games.
Yeah.
Because actually your parents, it's not like they don't love you. I actually love my parents. Mom, dad, if you see, love you. Okay. This is not actually scolding, but it's life itself. Parents most of the time are not prepared for this kind of thing. They don't know how to manage things. But this is the same as playing football. This is the same as any game. It's not going to take out your protagonism. You're still the parent. So still be the parent. And
you're guiding. But it's easy. It's so easy. Oh, a kid gets angry. He starts, I don't know, slamming doors or whatever, like switch it on. Or so many times, and then you're scrolling your Facebook and you're feeling very guilty or whatever, but you just the kid is shutting up, and we do that, and then we get angry because on our past, and then we think, oh my God, what is it? And then we shout to the kid, so he's going to switch it off, and like, come on, just is this what we're saying? You first regulate yourself. This is something else that so many parents are very afraid of. Like, is screen time going to damage my kid's brain? This is something very
common, but it's not real,
very
actually.
Common. So, first of all, let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to sleep, because if your kid does not sleep, that's going to damage his brain. Let's go back to movement. Let's go back to a good, healthy diet. Let's go back to having healthy relationships. Let's go back to have a healthy connection with you. Then you can be assured digital play is going to find their way, and you're not going to even need the screen time. Because so many times screen time, a number, creates problems and creates negotiation, creates anxiety in the kid, creates the fact that if one day you cannot play, then what are you going to do with that hour? We're going to put it here and there. And kids get stressed. Parents get stressed because they don't know where the boundaries are. If they promise 1 hour this day, then is this hour gone? And then the kid feels punished? Or the kid suddenly does not want to go to visit auntie because he's going to lose his hour of gaming? This just creates more problems than it is. So if your kid is balanced and is regulated, and you put the things in the right place, it's not a problem if in a rainy day he has a longer session. Because as much as I looked for it, and I look in very serious scientific papers, and if someone asks for them, I can find them again because I have them. There is no scientific evidence that the hours, like a particular amount of hours of video games, is going to damage someone's brain.
So interesting.
This does not exist. I didn't find it. Unbalance in your life will. But if you have your balanced life, you cannot have a kid that's playing 3 hours per day. Because as I always say, if a kid is playing 3 hours per day when he is 8, we don't have a gaming problem. We have a problem.
A problem behind. And
there's something else.
And another thing is like this screen time that you're talking about, that is true, the magic numbers, is like, don't put a schedule on gaming because you have to be in the mood to game. This is not a show. So, but it's so true. I'm really interested in what you said regarding the screen time. The amounts of screen time is like, it's not going to do anything to the kid's brain. It's like, this is another stigma, right? It's like a lot of people, I have been raised with this kind of idea as well. The guilt that you feel is true. It's true. Sometimes, and this is, I don't know if you feel the same, but I have been talking with some friends as well, and it's like, when I have vacation, it's been a long time since I have vacation, but when I have, the last time that I had vacation was when I bought the Cyberpunk. Wow, that's an amazing game. If you had the opportunity, Laura played. I have been the whole 2 weeks playing Cyberpunk. And even if I enjoy that, and I ask for the time off and everything, I feel like a kid again, feeling guilty for enjoying it.
But this is where I raise my hand and I say, you were an adult and you were taking decisions for yourself. So this is okay.
Yeah.
And you say, it's okay, you're an adult. And again, so many times, the same adult, us as parents, we don't respect our sleep. So many times. We kept scrolling stupid stuff or, I don't know, procrastinating. We go to sleep very, very late and then we are very tired in the morning and we screw up. We were completely irresponsible with our balance. Or we don't go, I don't know, to the gym or running or whatever. And we are irresponsible for ourselves. Or we just have, I don't know, whatever, it's on the fridge very fast. This is another decision that you take for yourself. You don't have kids.
The gamers, the kid gamers are going to be the gamers of tomorrow. Yeah, we are the gamers of tomorrow. So we are at some point, this is like a snowball. What you do with your kid is going to appear when the kid is an adult.
So you teach them balance.
That's
and
important.
You teach them this amount of hours of sleep. And you teach them you have to have movement. And you teach them all this, and while you're a kid, no, you just spend 2 weeks in a row. I'm very sure it didn't fry your brain. I'm very sure.
No, not at all. My brain was prepared for these 2 extensive weeks of gaming. I was totally prepared. The fridge was prepared. The house was prepared.
Your pajamas was prepared.
Everything was prepared. Like for real, they have the 3 kinds of pajamas, special pajamas to play. That it has like the themes and everything. I'm such a geek. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry. I enjoyed it.
But that's really good, and that's an enjoyable experience. It's like, I don't know, sometimes we can go, I don't know, to a survival experience or whatever, or we can decide, like so many people do, how many times very extreme sports, but you don't do that to your kid. You go through balance, you go through a healthy life, and then you take whatever stupid decisions you want to take for yourself. This is okay. That's done. But as adults, we can, this danger does not exist because we decide. But again, if we are so concerned about our kids' brain and anything and about screen time, and if you feel you are not ready to handle your kid's frustration, because he's going to sometimes be frustrated when you switch it off. If you set some healthy things, it's going to be all right. And we can talk about that if some people want to establish healthy habits. It's normally it's not very individual for every kid. Every kid handles this turn off moment very differently. So I cannot give an advice like that fits all. I could give some advice, but it's normally very individual. But if you think, okay, I cannot keep the connection, I'm pissed, I think I have the feeling, I think he should be okay with turning it off. And I'm going to, I don't know, threaten him that if he's not okay, we're not going to play next day or whatever. If you feel you're not okay, let it go. Your kid is far better in front of a game than in the same room where you are snapping or shouting or whatever. The kid is better just gaming. Go away. I don't know, drink a glass of water.
Have some breathe time. Yeah.
Breathe. Take 20 minutes for yourself. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Go back. Accept that it may happen that your kid is going to be frustrated and be there for him, because that's far worse for a kid. Again, most of the things that are around, we focus so much on the gaming system, but they are not related to digital life. So many times it's just related to how we think things should be and how we think that kids should prefer to go hiking than to be gaming. And you can make a healthy life can have both if you decide. The kid can go hiking and the kid can game. And maybe when he's hiking, he's going to talk a little bit about video games. Just breathe again, you're hiking. It's not a problem. There's so many people that get very, very stressed. Like, I don't know, maybe they are, swimming in a lake and whatever. And then the kid says, you know what? I unblocked this or that. And then they get so stressed, like, this moment, like, my kids should be in the present. My kids should be in the present. He should be thinking about the water. No, it's you who are not in the present with your kid at this very moment when he's just talking about something he likes and he's moving, and you can enjoy that and talk about something he takes interest on.
That's their present. Our present is not their present. So it's so true. Do not mirror what you think that is good in your mind to others. And it's not only kids, right? It's adults too, but we are talking about kids right now. So I think that this is actually very interesting. I really appreciate that you took the time and everything to do this recap of the last coffee chat for the ones that are watching. Actually, I'm looking on the side because I have the other computer right here. Don't worry. It's like, okay. So actually, this is a recap from the last time. It's good to have these things in mind. It's good actually to have this I don't know, to land, when this kind of situation is like, don't stress your kid regarding this, don't be jealous or don't be frustrated over a game. The game is not going to be offended for your impulse. The game is not going to care because the game is not a living thing. So as Laura said perfectly, it's your responsibility, and actually you're the one that has to manage these kind of things. Regarding the screen
power.
Exactly. Nobody took your power. No game is going to take out the power because the game is not a living thing. So you still have the power. You take off your own power. So manage it right.
And you take your own power off by blackmailing your kids with video games, by using them as a threat, so they are going to behave the way you like. Like, it's so if you don't do that, then tomorrow we won't play. And then you see, but it's not because they love so much video games in this moment. It's because you're frightening them. They have fear. They are threatened, or they've been blackmailed. So they try to accommodate their behavior to you. And you think, that's work. I'm going to keep on doing that. Like, no. That is not a good idea. And but we use them, and then we give them power like this, a power that they shouldn't have.
And then all the problems, right? This is like a snowball. Yeah. So actually, yes, that we had a couple of things to the last coffee chat. I have actually a couple of questions. I can start with the one that Patricio left on the last coffee chat. Patricio, I don't know if you're watching, but if you're watching, thank you so much for the question. It's not that we didn't want to answer. It's just that there were many questions and we were very tight on time. That's the reason that we are doing this continuation, okay? So Patricio, he's actually a father of two, a boy and a girl. The question is in Spanish, so I'm going to translate, okay? Basically, what he's asking is, I have a son and I have a daughter. They are playing together on the PlayStation. How can I make some balance between my son's game and my daughter's game when my son sometimes makes nasty comments about the girly games that my daughter is playing? How can I make the screen time between the two of them with one gaming device?
Okay.
This is a hard one.
This is a hard one. We will need more specifications about what is a girly game.
Yeah. I don't have that is actually the question, Patricio. If at some point you want to connect with Laura and tell a little more, you have all Laura's links on the description of the video and she can help you more, but this is all that I have right now.
Okay, so again, this is not a gaming problem. This problem is not coming from games. And I don't know, so I would have so many questions for him. First, what is a girly game? That's very... And second, does this happen in some other areas of their life? I don't know if there's also some age difference. I don't know why, but I imagine that the girl is younger. Or maybe not. But
I got the feeling too. Yeah, that the son was the older and the girl is the younger.
Yeah, because sometimes, So, again, as I said, when we have problems like this, so many times the problem does not come from the screen, as this is the moment. I have the feeling that there is so much to talk about with your kids, separated, about first some basic rules of respect, about this, about the activities that the other one likes, and talk a little bit with your son about why does he do that? Does he want to have the gaming system for himself? Did that happen to him? Did someone make fun of his gaming choices before? And try to open dialogue, so everything is going to be better. You can open a lot of doors there by playing with both of them and making the bridge in between them. But it is true that there are some basic rules of respect that should be set. Again, not by shaming your boy, this is not a good idea either. That's just going to create more frustration, and most probably they're going to have more problems if you do that.
Yeah.
But just about setting the idea that, okay, we're a family, we have fun, we respect each other, and we're going to try to make this good for everyone, and just let him open, because he's got some feeling here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be rarely, if he's having this reaction with his sister, it's going to be rarely, oh, I just want to play this game. It may be, but just explore. You have to know them better in order to know how to fix this. But this is not a digital play problem.
This is a parent management, right? This is yeah. So Patricio, if you are watching this, or if you are going to watch it later, thank you so much for your question. Again, we need more information. It's true. If you want to contact Laura, you have the links to contact her.
You can DM me. I will be happy to help and to ask for a little bit more specifics. And this is far more about how we treat each other than about
the game itself,
and about your PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation has no role at all here.
It's true. It's actually true. Yeah. I have another question that is from Paula. Paula S. I don't know, Paula, your surname, but well, let's just say Paula S. She's asking basically, she has a son, 13 years old. We have an age right now. But her question is in Spanish. I'm going to translate. Should I let my kid play video games before going to sleep? That's the only thing that she asks. Yeah.
Okay. That's also rather inspecific. At what time does he go to sleep? Like, is that destroying his sleep?
She only asked that. Actually, I have the WhatsApp right here. A lot of followers actually just contact me from WhatsApp. Hello, Ornella. I really like this video. It's the first time that I'm watching something like this on YouTube. I have a son, okay, this son that has 13 years old, and I don't know if he should be. This is in Spanish. I make the translation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he should play video games before going to sleep.
Okay.
Nothing else.
So if she does not know about it, either that is impacting his sleep or it's not. So if it's not impacting his sleep, we have already half of the job done.
Yeah, it's like we don't have more information. Paula, the thing that
they normally say no screens before bed. Again, there is few evidence of the fact that that watching a film or watching a little bit of TV just before bed has a negative impact depending on the light that's coming from the screen. But there are also, this is very divided. I know some people have the sensation that it calms them. We go back to the idea of why kids like gaming so much. Gaming is an active activity. It's very active. So it's funny because when they are 13, the word "let him" is a problematic word, because "let him" it should be the contrary of "I forbid it." So let's not forbid yet if he's got a good sleep hygiene, and if you're worried, talk to him. He's still young enough. He's still in an age that you should know what he's playing, you should know his usernames. That's a good idea for safety and everything. It's not about spying on him or whatever, but if something goes wrong, you should know what usernames he's using. He's still young enough. And control that there is a balance in his life. But if he's going to sleep around 9:30 and he's just gaming a little bit before, and something, I don't know, he's just playing, I don't know, half an hour of Minecraft and then brushing his teeth and going to sleep. Again, I'm so against this rules that every family in the world and every particular person in the world should follow. Just look at the specifics. You only know. That's why I like it to do all these general things, but it's not the same thing. A kid that's been disturbed for a long time, and his sleep is not good, and his grades are falling, and then okay, we have to intervene. That's something that's happening in a very calm way because he likes it, and then he just goes to sleep and keeps on having a good balance in his life.
Yeah.
So it's not about this is part of the thing that can create stigma. Okay, I lost it.
I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything.
Okay, cool. This is part of the things that can create stigma. This is right, this is wrong. This is thing, this is that. And we always say just before sleeping is bad, we have to look at which game, the state of the kid, is he sleeping well, is he having good grades, is he having nice balance in his life, is he going to I don't know, hang out with his friends and whatever. And then I don't think it is a problem. If you feel that this is creating tension in his life, then yes, then you have to intervene and know what's going on and guarantee that your kid has balance.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good advice. We don't have more information. For Paula, I don't want to judge you or anything, but for the question that you made with so little information, I got the feeling that you feel as a parent guilty for letting your kid play video games before going to sleep. But as Laura said, that depends. If you see that the kid is not sleeping well, if you see that there are some things that the kid is lacking because of the hour that he's playing, we need more information. Again, the link of Laura's link is on the description of the video. You can chat her up anytime. Thank you for the question. I have another one. But okay, if you want to add something else.
Because about guilt, yeah, this is a big point that sometimes disarm parents. Like, for example, they may be hearing that and thinking, oh my God, I already used the video games to blackmail my kids. This was so wrong and everything. Just no, it's no problem. What's done is done, no problem. It's so good that you're here, you're learning, you're trying to have a different approach. You try to have educate yourself, have different opinions. So that's already very nice. Sometimes you shut up the thing and your kid was frustrated and then you blame your kid or whatever, or you shame him. That's not a problem. You can even gently go back and say, okay, I think I changed my mind and I want to share this with you, and just try to build healthy habits from now on. And guilt, well, it may tell us, okay, there's something that I would like to do better and I would like to change. But if it's done, it's already done. And the good news is that this guilt tells you, okay, I can improve. It's not because you feel guilty that you have to, grab whatever you've done.
Yeah. Actually, that's a very good advice. Paula, I hope that this actually solved your questions and everything. And if not, contact Laura, okay?
Yeah.
Another question that I have, and this is actually, all the questions that I have, Laura, are from the WhatsApp. This one, I cannot see even her, I suppose, I don't know. I'm assuming that it's a woman, but I don't know. I don't see the picture, the profile picture. It's only the number, okay? Didn't present him or herself. I think that you would like this question. So she or he is saying, hello Ornella, I really like the channel. The channel is very young. I see that there are not a lot of followers right now. Yeah, actually the channel is very young. This is introduction.
Invite your friends.
Yeah, let's make more people, okay? Let's reach the 40 followers.
Crowd.
Ready for the question? Because I know that you love this, okay?
Yeah.
My kid plays Roblox. I will continue, okay? I'm so sorry. It's like...
You know me. I didn't know this one.
I will finish, okay? My kid plays Roblox, but I don't like the way his friends are treating him. What should I do? I don't like Roblox. My kid plays Roblox, but I don't like the way my kid's friends are treating him. What should I do? I don't know Roblox itself.
Okay.
I suppose that they speak by the mic or something, and this person is...
What I'm understanding here, because it is also very specific, your kid plays Roblox, and the friends are not treating him well about that. They are kind of, I don't know, maybe they know about some scandal that happened with Roblox, and they are kind of shaming.
I read this and I imagine the typical scenario of the banter is like maybe he has the mic, or maybe the parent is going around and hearing the conversation, and maybe something like that.
The game.
Inside the game, yes.
Okay.
Well, I understand for the question that is inside the game, that the parent is hearing the banter.
Okay. Because I have seen different situations where kids are physically talking about Roblox, and they kind of get together, the ones that are playing Roblox against the ones that don't play Roblox.
The question is very ambiguous, so okay. We can take that as that.
They are in the room together, and he's chatting with people. So again, I imagine...
Let's imagine, because we don't have more information.
If the kid is playing Roblox, I imagine he's rather young. He's a young gamer. So I'm going to say something rather controversial. You switch off the chat first. I don't have any reason for which a kid under 12 or so around is mature enough to deal with content that you cannot control. So again, and this is not something we were supposed to talk about, but we are going to talk about a little bit about ratings, age ratings.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. I love this.
We're not supposed to do that. We are going off script, but okay. I'm not very... I have mixed feelings about age ratings, and I don't think we should take age ratings as a religion at all. We are adult enough, and we will have an big episode of Mindy Kids dedicated to that, so I'm not going to be...
To make spoilers.
I'm not going to spoil it. But if you leave the chat open, you can't control the content your kid is consuming. So if he's young, and if he's playing Roblox, I think he's young.
I don't have an age, but I suppose the same.
I think he must be, I don't know, maybe 9, 10, I don't know, around that. Switch it off. Just switch off the chat, because you cannot control because if he does not like it, maybe he's insulted, maybe he is, I don't know. But the worst things that can happen. So if you cannot control that, you don't leave the chat open. And then a kid can play Roblox. Yeah, you just build a safe environment for him. If this is the question, if the question is, I don't know what's happening inside the game, and yeah, this is a game in question, and you don't leave a 10-year-old with content that you cannot control. So just switch it off. Again, no purchases for kids. No, this is all switched off. You just leave content that you can more or less control. If this is happening at school, because it may happen that this is happening at school and kids are not okay with this, and the kid can come crying home because of the game he's playing at home. And this may happen. I've seen that. I've seen... I've seen very, very strong things. Very strong things. I've seen kids, for example, shaming an 8-year-old because he was playing GTA. So then you say, okay, what's going on here? Again, this is not a gaming problem. So this is, for those who don't know, this is also not a game this is very clear. Like, we're talking about content. Normally, an 8-year-old shouldn't play this game. Already about the content. But if something like this is happening, you have to deal between adults, and you have to,
Yeah, we're talking about school, about a physical place.
Yeah, we're talking about a physical place, but it's what I understood at the beginning because I had so many cases like this. But now that I was thinking about that, because I thought this is my own problem, because I think, okay, if he's young, he's not having the chat open. But so many times parents leave the chat open and then they freak out. Obviously, this is content that you cannot control, and it's if the kid is young, is far too young to have that open.
So we have the two scenarios. Actually, yes, we don't have more information. At first, I thought that maybe the situation was the parent in the living room watching from behind the kid the chat, but it could be at school too. It's like, it was very ambiguous, but well, we have two responses, two answers, so that's okay.
That's not a difficult question about Roblox. That's okay.
I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting a Roblox mention, actually.
When you mentioned
Roblox is not paying us for this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but well, actually, these are the three questions that I received. The Roblox one was this morning, actually. And the number is from Spain. So whoever asked for the Roblox thing, if you need more information, if you want to talk a little more, again, contact Laura, contact me. We are open to these kind of things, and actually with Mindy Kids, there will be more spaces to talk about these kind of things, actually. Laura, yes.
And it's true that maybe next time when we ask for questions, and this is something that we're going to do from now on, you're gonna have to tell us the age of your kid and a little bit more specifics, because about balance and about because that's all that happens. Like if gaming is not creating an imbalance, it shouldn't be a problem.
And maybe saying if it's a physical place, if you're talking about your home, if it's on the screen in front of, or so we can.
Yeah, no, I got that it was in the Roblox room in the same. Yeah.
In the same, right? Okay. So actually, those were the questions, very interesting questions. Actually, I'm really happy that we had the opportunity to answer them. This was actually the continuation of the last coffee chat. And Laura, do you think that is a good moment to start talking about Mindy Kids? Yay!
I'm so happy we created that. And
yes, I'm so excited for the first episode. That is going to be the 25th of this month at 9 p.m. set time, Madrid, because we think about parents and how busy you are, okay? So, Laura, please, do me the honors.
We also have the Decalogue, though?
Yes, we do. In the description of the video.
Yeah, so you have kind of what we call it Decalogue, but I like to call it the 10 Commandments.
Can you please speak a little about it so people have context?
Yeah, it's a little bit all we talked about. A little bit of guidelines that are going to be yes, and we even talk about these things that you have to look that go far beyond content, and how the connection is safety, and how you have to regulate yourself, and so many others. It's very, very simple, and it's going to simplify your approach so much. And if you have any problem, you can keep on watching Mindy Kids series, because we are going to unfold many of these questions. We are going to talk more about user-generated content, so video games or ecosystems. I don't like to call it a video game.
Yeah.
I always say there's a little bit like an ecosystem. So like Roblox, we're going to talk about age ratings, and we are going to have again, we are building connection. I always try to do some scientific research. So if we are talking again, also these things that people say like, oh, this is creating brain damage. I always do a little bit of research to know if all this drama has a little bit of foundation. And so we can know now it's unbalanced what creates brain damage, and it's not screen time. But if you put that together, then you will see that big screen time is not possible in a balanced life, and we have to take responsible decisions. So we're going to talk about a lot of these things, and we're going to unfold them, one subject per episode, or we try, because it's not always like this. We go off topic very fast.
But it's fun. It makes the conversation fun, actually. A banter.
And some of the times we just like to create debate, and we're not so So sure, but we always try to keep on thinking about this motto: connection is safety, and it will be, you have to build this connection from the very beginning, so they are going to trust you till the very end.
Actually, and another thing to add, the episodes can be made from you. If you have, for example, something that you want to add, if you have a question or whatsoever, this is a living thing. We are not doing things because we want to. We are adding things, and the episodes are going to be for helping parents, to helping you. So if you have an idea, if you see that maybe I want an episode about, for example, I don't know, the Roblox person. No, we are not going to talk about Roblox, but about the situation involving that, of course, not giving names. But you can guide us to make the episodes. And the episodes are going to be actually on seasons. Right now we have a bunch of episodes. We are going to make at some point maybe a vacation of 1 week. We are going to make you update on that. It's like the communication is always open, right? But you are a co-creator with us. That's a dynamic that I want to nurture, because actually it's something that we are creating together with you as well, as the audience.
Yeah, so, and it's very important that we feed from your cases, from your experience, so we can build a better present.
And helping each other. Laura investigates everything. So you can be assured that what we are talking about is not because we want to, or because, no, it's not imagination. There is actually an investigation behind this. So that's Mindy Kids. 25 of this month, 9 p.m. The first episode is going to be once a week. We are going to keep you updated for any kind of information that will happen in the meantime. You have all our social platforms from MindyCore. We have Reddit, we have LinkedIn, we have Instagram. We have the WhatsApp, that right now my WhatsApp is for the work. So you can chat us up from any place. Actually, if you had the opportunity to look at Laura's project, that is the Ô Jardin, that is something very beautiful that she's creating. Actually, it's not mine, but I'm proud to see that, because actually it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Have the opportunity to watch it. Go to her LinkedIn profile, go to the website, because it's something very nice, and it's for children too, actually. So I think that, I don't know if we have something else.
Together.
Yeah, everything is connected, actually. Everything that we do is connected for us to be here, actually, So I think that was it. I don't know.
Thank you very much, everyone, for your questions, for your energy to be here, to encourage us.
Yeah, actually, we're doing this because of you, actually. It's not because we are passionate about this, it's because you give us the fuel of this passion. So, Laura, Laura, I really appreciate you. I love what you do. I love what you are doing with Mindy Kids, and this is going to be beyond. Thank you so much for being here, and until the first episode, right? Yay! Goodbye, guys.
Bye.